Hi there, gorgeous, and a very happy money-saving March to you. If you missed the initial announcement, every video coming out the entire month of March is drugstore themed, and I'm also doing 5 videos a week, so please subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos coming out this month. Today I'm reviewing another Colourpop eyeshadow palette for you. This is the Dream Street palette that was done in collaboration with KathleenLights, and when I did the last Colourpop review, a lot of you had requested to see this one. So I'm going to be showing you an up-close look at the palette swatches, and I'm also showing you 3 mini tutorials for some looks that you can create with it. Before I show you this palette, give you a little bit of backstory of what happened to it. I went to go pick it up to do a filming of what it looked like on the inside, and I barely lifted the cover and one of the eyeshadows leapt out of the pan like I had a chocolate bar on my makeup table. And of all the eyeshadows that had to leap out of the pan, it was the one called Sweet Dreams. So unfortunately, as I'm showing you what the palette looks like here, you can see that eyeshadow is missing, but I still swatched it. It's still sitting on my makeup table actually as I'm talking to you right now in a pile because I'm a little afraid to move it. I do want to fix it, I just haven't had time to yet. So yeah, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me before. First time for everything. But anyway, the eyeshadows within this palette are very richly pigmented. I really, really love the mattes in here. Colourpop's matte formula is so incredibly easy to work with, not only in application, but also blending. It's one of the best formulas I've ever experienced from the drugstore companies. And I will tell you that the shimmers in this palette struggled a little bit for me, unfortunately. And I did have to apply a couple of these wet in the looks that I'm getting ready to show you. So I wanted to say that up front. They're not all like that, but a couple of them do need a little bit of help. For the first look that I created with this palette, I took the eyeshadow Shooting Star and I used that to deepen the crease. Then I took the shade Magical and I used that to blend out the crease. And these two colors started to blend into one another to where they started to look like the same color. So I added in a bit more of a defining shade later in the look. But next I went in with the shade Stardust, applied that onto the lid, and I did have to apply this eyeshadow wet. When I applied it dry, I wasn't getting the level of pigment that I would have liked, and it was very crumbly on application. So it was really sad to see that, but once I applied it wet, I was able to get a strong pigment with it. And then I went back with the shade Elfish and I used that to deepen and define the crease a little bit more. And for the entire look, to pull everything together, I paired the eyes up with a lipstick from Carity in the shade Tick Tick Boom, and my lashes are from Inky Minky Lashes in the style Blessed. I'm starting to take more risks with lipstick this year, and a couple of you have been noticing my more daring lipstick choices. I know some people don't like them, but you know what? I gotta be different. I have to keep things fresh, so I'm going to be experimenting with a lot more lip colors now and well into the future. Now for the next look, I created more of a teal look because I was so attracted to that deep matte teal in this palette. It's simply gorgeous. So to create the look I'm showing you here, I used that shade. It's called Water Bearer, and I deepened the crease with the Sigma E25 brush, so really focused application into the socket line of the eye. And you can see how this one blends. It blends so beautifully. Next, I went back with the eyeshadow Shooting Star, and I used that to blend out the edges of Water Bearer towards the brow bone. And using these two eyeshadows together creates the most beautiful gradient effect. Next, I took the eyeshadow called Kaleidoscope and I applied this to the inner 2/3 of the lid. Now, this is one of the few shimmers from this palette that I didn't struggle with on application at all, and I did not have to apply this one wet. So this is one that is very strong and rich and easy to apply. Last step in this look, I went back with Water Bearer again, applied that to the outer third of the lid to add a bit more definition and also blended it up into the outer V. For the lips in this look, I used Milani's Nude lip liner with Too Faced Peach Sickle lip gloss, and my lashes are in the style Angelic from my lash line Inky Minky Lashes. Gorgeous. That was one of those looks that was really hard to wash off, and I feel like it's such a beautiful representation of this palette. For the next look that I'm showing you here, it's actually the one that I'm wearing in today's video. So if you've been curious about what's on my eyes and lips here, I'm going to show you that tutorial next. I first took the eyeshadow Potion and I used that to deepen the crease. Very rich deep hues with this one. No trouble with blending, very similarly to Water Bearer. Excellent formula here. Then I took the eyeshadow Magical, which is that light peach in the palette, and I used that to blend out the edges of Potion towards the brow bone. Again, beautiful gradient effect between these two shades, and it looks seamless. The next eyeshadow I took was Sweet Dreams. I literally took some of this off my makeup table with the brush. And I applied this to the inner half of the lid. This is one I did have to apply wet. It was rather crumbly, again, to apply to my eyes, but once I did apply it wet, I had much more success with it. And then I went back with the eyeshadow Elfish once again and used it on the outer half of the lid, and I also blended this up into the outer V to add some dimension and give the eyes a little bit more depth. And I didn't show it as part of the mini tutorial, but I also went back with the eyeshadow Shooting Star and I smudged it along the lower lash line, and I also added a nude eyeliner to the waterline. And for the lips that I paired up here, I used Milani's Nude lip liner again with Maybelline's Blushing Beige, and my eyelashes are the Angelic Style again from Inky Minky Lashes. You just see this eyeshadow coming out of the palette. Freebird! Honestly though, I'm not going to hold this against Colourpop. It really appears to be just one of those random flukes, and unless it's something that habitually happens over and over and over again, I'm not going to say a palette is horrible because I had an eyeshadow that just wanted to be free. Despite the little troubles that I had with the eyeshadows Stardust and Sweet Dreams, every other eyeshadow in this palette performed beautifully, and I didn't struggle with any of them at all. And I feel like the two that did give me trouble are very easily fixed by simply applying a setting spray to your brush and applying them that way. So it's not like you can't use them or figure a way to use them, and that's why I'm going to say definitely check this palette out. I do feel like it is of great quality and something that is worth considering. So if you've been eyeing it, go for it. If there is another Colourpop eyeshadow palette you'd like to see me review in this same style, feel free to share it below. I know they just released a purple palette. Several of you have been tagging me in posts on that one, and I definitely want to order it. They also have a green palette they just released for St. Patrick's Day. So let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll absolutely take it into consideration. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Frugal Friday.